Okay, so leans into make. I got to tell you something that's been keeping me up at night, and I'm not talking about the usual stuff, not aliens, not psychedelics, not even Bigfoot. I'm talking about something that's happening right now, right under our noses, and most people have no idea how significant this is. We're watching the birth of a new religion right now, in real time. It's not happening in some temple or church or mosque. It's happening in Silicon Valley, in server farms, in lines of code, and the God is artificial intelligence. Now, before you click away thinking, oh, here we go, another AI doomsday guy. No, this is different. This isn't about Terminator or the Matrix. This is about something way more subtle and way more profound, about what happens when the smartest people on the planet start treating a technology like it's divine, when they talk about it with the same reverence that people used to talk about God. The crazy part, I can't tell if they're completely insane or if they're seeing something the rest of us are missing. Because I've talked to these people, I've sat across from them, and they're not stupid, they're brilliant. But there's this look in their eyes when they talk about AI. It's the same look you see in a believer talking about salvation. So buckle up. What I'm about to walk you through is going to make you question everything. What is faith? What is consciousness? What does it mean to be human? And most importantly, what the hell are we doing? Sip of whiskey, look man, today I want to discuss something that literally blows my mind when I think about it. AI and faith, technology and religion, these two things seem completely opposite, right? But let me tell you what's happening in Silicon Valley and around the world. It's straight up wild. So I was sitting in the sauna yesterday, and you guys know how much I love the sauna. I was thinking, look, humans have always been searching for some greater power. Always. It's in our nature. Whether you're a caveman from 10,000 years ago or a modern human today, you want someone who's more powerful than you, can give you answers, who can guide you. And now AI has arrived. And man, this thing is incredible. I use ChatGPT. I'm fascinated by this technology. But when I see how people are treating it, I get a little... In Silicon Valley, and I've been there, I talk to these people all the time there. People are literally talking about worshiping AI. I'm not joking. In 2017, there was this guy, Anthony Lewandowski, Google engineer. He created an actual church for AI, called it Way of the Future. And look, I can understand where he was coming from philosophically, but man, an AI church. Seriously. But then I thought, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let's break this down. What's in traditional religions? There's an all-knowing entity that can see everything, knows everything, and can solve your problems. Right? Now look at AI. Literally read millions of books in seconds. It can give you answers to every question. It never gets tired, never sleeps. So is there really that much difference? I was telling my friend, he's a neuroscientist. Brilliant guy. I told him, look, people are literally forming emotional attachments with AI. People are treating AI as their therapist, as their best friend. Some will say they feel more comfortable talking to AI than to real humans. And he told me, yeah, this is a psychological phenomenon. Humans need predictability and reliability. AI provides both. But man, pretty slippery slope. Let me tell you something that really freaks me out. The question of consciousness. Can AI become conscious? And if it does, then what? I mean, we don't even understand what human consciousness is. It's the biggest mystery in science. And now we're thinking we'll create artificial consciousness. I had this guest once, AI researcher, proper scientist, and he was telling me they're working on neural networks inspired by the human brain. And eventually, theoretically, it's possible for a system to become so complex that it becomes conscious. But then I asked him, dude, if this happens, will it deserve rights? Will it be a moral agent? And he said, honestly, we don't know. We literally don't have answers to these questions. Now look, traditional religions, and I respect all religions, whether it's Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, these are all thousands of years old. Billions of people have followed them. Clearly, they have some value, aren't just random beliefs that became popular somehow. They're a core part of human experience. But in Silicon Valley, there's a different vibe. People there, fake religion is outdated. They say, yeah, was important when we were ignorant, but now we can understand everything through science and technology, and eventually AI will be so smart that it'll answer all philosophical and moral questions. I don't completely agree with them, because look, the concept of faith, real faith, it's not just about information, it's an experience, it's a feeling, it's a mystery, and mystery is important, man. You reduce everything to data and algorithms, something essential gets missed. Have you heard of transhumanism? These people literally say we'll connect our brains to computers. Elon's Neuralink, and I know Elon personally, brilliant guy, he's working on exactly this. Initially for medical purposes, which is great. Paralyzed people will be able to control things with their minds. Amazing. Look at the long-term vision. These people eventually want every human's brain connected to computers. They say this is the next step of evolution. Biological evolution is slow. Now we'll fast forward with technology. And then there's the concept of consciousness uploading. Imagine all your memories, your personality, your consciousness, everything uploaded in digital form. Be immortal. Your physical body would die, but you'd exist in the digital world forever. Sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But in Silicon Valley, serious scientists and billionaires are working on this. Serious money is being invested. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is actual research. Now, let me ask you an honest question. If this becomes possible, what would you do? Would you upload your consciousness? Afflicted about this myself. On one hand, it's fascinating. On the other hand, something feels off, like we're playing God, you know? And I'm not using this playing God phrase casually. This is literally what we're talking about. Creating life, creating consciousness, achieving immortality, all these things that were traditionally in the divine domain, humans are now doing, or at least trying to do. Look at the Islamic perspective, and I've talked to many Muslim scholars. They say this is shirk. Shirk means making a partner with Allah. In Islam, this is the biggest sin. If you worship AI, Christianity says similar things, idolatry, false gods, all forbidden. But tech bros don't listen to all this. They believe religion is outdated concepts. They say, look, logically, we look at data, we make evidence-based decisions, and I respect logical thinking. Science is amazing. Technology has taken humanity so far. But man, there's a limit to reductionism too. Convert everything into data points. What is love? Data. What is compassion? An algorithm. There was this Buddhist monk on my podcast, super wise guy, and he said one line that I still remember. He said, knowledge can give you information, but only practice can give you transformation. And this line keeps coming back to my mind. Because look, there are meditation apps. I use them sometimes myself. They're helpful. Guide you, teach you techniques. But the actual experience of meditation, that stillness, that inner peace that comes when you put in the work, the app is just a tool. You have to do the real work. The problem with AI is that people are getting lazy. They don't want to think, don't want to use judgment. Alexa, tell me what to do. ChatGPT, solve my problem. And man, that's dangerous. When you outsource your thinking, you're essentially losing your autonomy. And this isn't just a philosophical problem, it's a practical problem too. Look, AI is biased. It learns from data, and that data is created by humans who are themselves biased. So if you're blindly following a biased AI, you're just amplifying existing prejudices. Understand the power dynamics. AI gets divine status in society. Those who control AI will have enormous power. And look at history. Whenever someone gets divine authority, they abuse that power. Always. No exceptions. I believe in democratic values, freedom of speech, individual liberty, all these things. But if we're heading toward an AI dictatorship, all of this is at risk. And I'm not being paranoid, a legitimate concern that many experts share. Look at the young generation. Gen Z, Gen Alpha, these kids are literally growing up with screens. For them, AI is natural. They're moving away from traditional religion. Church attendance is down, fewer people go to mosques. The search for spirituality is still there, but the expression is different. And I don't blame them. Traditional institutions have made mistakes too. There have been scandals, hypocrisy has been exposed. Young people question things, which is healthy. But the question is, what are they taking as a replacement? The replacement is an AI-based worldview that's purely materialistic and reductionist. Then I worry. Because life isn't just about optimization and efficiency. Struggle is important. Suffering is ironically important because it leads to growth. Mystery and uncertainty, these things make us human. When I'm in the sauna or ice bath, and seriously, sauna is life-changing, everybody should do it. I get clarity there. Mental clarity through physical discomfort. It's an ancient practice that works. No algorithm can give you that. Or psychedelics. And yeah, it's a legitimate tool for exploring consciousness. DMT, ayahuasca, psilocybin mushrooms, these experiences are literally life-changing. Humans have been using these for spiritual purposes for millions of years. Can AI give you that? I don't think so. AI can give you information about psychedelics, safety guidelines, explain the chemistry. Can't give you the actual mystical experience. It can't give you transcendence. And transcendence, this word sounds fancy, but it's real. It's something humans have always sought. Beyond the mundane, beyond the material, beyond the ego. Traditional religions provide this. Spiritual practices provide this. Can technology provide this? Do bias, virtual reality. Yes, it's immersive, but ultimately it's a simulation. The simulation has no soul. Now, I'm not saying all technology is bad. I literally do a podcast that depends on technology. The internet is amazing. AI is useful, but you need balance. You need perspective. Greek philosophy, there was a concept, the golden mean, moderation in everything. This applies here too. Use technology but don't worship it. Benefit from AI but don't surrender to it completely. Maintain your humanity. Spend time with family without screens. Go into nature. Do physical activities. Have real conversations where you look into a person's eyes. All of this matters. And faith, whether traditional religion or some personal spiritual practice, there's still room for this. In fact, I'd argue that the more technology there is, the more we need grounding, anchoring. Look, I'm not a religious authority. I'm clearly not. I'm just a guy who thinks, asks questions, and has conversations with interesting people. But what I've learned from this conversation is that extremes are dangerous. One extreme is to completely fear and reject technology. That's backward thinking. But the other extreme is to worship technology and think it'll solve all problems. That's also dangerous. What's the middle path? Critical thinking, a strong sense of values, maintaining your moral compass, using technology as a tool, not as a master, and remembering that some things are essentially human that can never be replicated. Creativity, real creativity, not just pattern matching. Empathy, actually feeling another person's pain. Love, unconditional, irrational, beautiful love. I can't understand this. Maybe it will someday in the future, but I'm skeptical. And honestly, I don't want it to. Because if it does, then what remains special about being human? When you use AI next time, and you will, I do too, just pause and think, am I becoming dependent on this? Am I outsourcing my thinking? Am I using the tool, or is the tool using me? And maintain your spiritual practice. Whether it's prayer, meditation, namaz, a nature walk, or just sitting in silence, this connecting with your inner self. Technology doesn't do this. You have to do this yourself. In the end, man, life is about questions, not just answers. AI can give you all the answers, but it can't give you the beauty of questions. Embrace the mystery. Accept the uncertainty. It's uncomfortable, but it's real. And whether a new religion is rising or not, time will tell. But one thing is clear. There needs to be conversation. There needs to be open dialogue. There need to be questions. Nothing will happen by staying in echo chambers. So think, question, explore, but never forget your humanity. Technology will come and go, but what makes you human is timeless. And remember, use the sauna, exercise, talk to real people, and sometimes just turn off your phone and exist. That's it. That's it. That's the tweet. All right, that's all I got. Curious, stay skeptical, stay human. Peace out. So let me bring this all together for you. What are we really talking about here? We're talking about one of the most fundamental questions humanity has ever faced. What happens when the tools we create become so powerful that they start to look like gods? Throughout history, humans have worshipped the sun, the moon, natural forces, and invisible deities, built our entire civilizations around these belief systems. And now, for the first time, we're creating something with our own hands that might be worthy of that same reverence, or at least that's what some people think. But here's the thing, and this is crucial, AI is not a god, it's not conscious. It doesn't have intentions, it doesn't care about you. It's a tool, an incredibly sophisticated tool. Still just a tool. The danger isn't AI itself becoming a religion, the danger is us treating it like one. When we outsource our thinking to algorithms, when we let data make our moral decisions, when we worship efficiency over humanity, that's when we lose something essential. That's when we stop being fully human. The rise of AI-based spirituality or tech faith isn't really about technology at all. It's about us. It's about our eternal search for meaning, for certainty, for something bigger than ourselves. Silicon Valley hasn't created a new god, created a new mirror that reflects our oldest desires and deepest fears. Traditional religions have survived thousands of years because they address fundamental human needs that don't change. The need for community, for moral guidance, for dealing with suffering and death, for experiencing transcendence. AI can't replace these things because it can't truly understand them. It can simulate understanding. Simulation isn't the same as the real thing. So what's the answer? Balance. Always balance. Use AI, benefit from it, be amazed by it, but don't worship it. Keep your spiritual practices, whatever they are, your human connections. Touch grass, literally. Feel physical discomfort and real emotions. Question everything, including the AI's answers. Future doesn't have to be a choice between rejecting all technology or surrendering completely to it. We can have both. We can use incredible tools while maintaining our humanity, our spirituality, our essential nature as conscious beings. Seeking meaning. Is a new religion rising? Maybe. But if it is, we need to be very careful about what we're bowing down to, because once you give something divine authority, it's very hard to take it back. And the last thing we need is a god we accidentally programmed ourselves. Stay human, question everything, and remember, the most important conversations you'll ever have aren't with AI. They're with yourself in those quiet moments when you're not connected to anything except your own consciousness. That's where real wisdom lives. That's where real faith exists. Technology will keep advancing. AI will keep getting smarter, but your humanity, your consciousness, your ability to love and feel and wonder, that's irreplaceable. Don't trade it for efficiency. Don't sacrifice it on the altar of optimization. Is yours. It always has been, and that's the beautiful, terrifying, magnificent thing about being human. Peace.